Hello, Gad Barons, and welcome to another edition of the Gad Bad Review. Yes, in case you haven't noticed by that lovely accent I was doing, we're going to go over Dracula Untold. Yes, the weird before Halloween movie that doesn't really make any sense. I guess you could put it that way. But yes, Dracula, one of my favorite classic movie monsters to be ever on screen, and eventually got destroyed by one mother trucking moron who writes fan fiction, who shall remain nameless. Cough, cough, Stephanie Meyer, cough, cough. Yes, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Sorry, I must have something in my throat though. Or something, but nonetheless, though, that nameless someone destroyed vampires, pretty much destroyed the franchise of vampires, and nothing seems to be bringing it back. Now, but despite what you may know, it all started with a real author, a real writer, named Bram Stoker back in the old 1897, wrote a novel named Dracula. Whether it's based on true events or an actual person, well, speak for yourselves, know what you know, speak your opinion about it. Because that this film is actually had some historical significance. Basically, the war with the Turks, despite the language that they were using, like the word Turks, and the possible characters were probably based on certain people in these events. Now, what now I know for those who are asking, no, Stoker did not model Dracula on Vlad the Impaler. Despite the similarities, nobody will ever know what he was actually thinking of doing with this. Now you see, this film actually does. There's nothing for the franchise for Dracula. Dracula Untold actually just tells a version of how Vlad the Impaler became Dracula. Now, according to my research team and there are only a few particular films that go this route. Uh, this historical route. Basically, they're saying that Dracula became Vlad the Impaler because he would impale his enemies on pikes in front of his castle, in front of his house, basically. So it's everything seems to be pretty accurate, kind of like a really good Pixar flowchart, I guess. A good Pixar movie. Everything flows to see, and it seems that this is what it is. Dracula is Vlad. Vlad is Dracula, if you were. Now, it's actually a very interesting movie because, like I said, it's based on a franchise that has been done, like it hasn't been, I guess it's been done to death, I guess you could say, but it seems to just be uh, excuse me, it just seems to be that Dracula seems to be a fun story to do. And it is, especially when if you see this in IMAX, which I guarantee you'll definitely like more than the understated regular version of this movie. But it's true. Basically, this story needed to be told in in an IMAX format. Now, I'm not saying to do so, but it's pretty accurate that you should, if that's where I can get at. I did like the cast here, despite only like maybe two, maybe four people that I enjoyed watching. You have Luke Evans, you have Dominic Cooper, who decided to come out. It was just a fun amount you know people that actually do enjoy watching. If you don't know any of these guys, please. You probably know Dominic Cooper. He plays Mr. Stark in Tony Stark's father in a couple of movies. I believe I believe he's an Iron Man, and he's in the Captain America, obviously. And so it was kind of fun to see him there and portray this character. Uh, the thing is, this is a movie that's coming out before Halloween. It's like more of a setup, so to get you into the mood. Which, granted, whatever that happens, it's before October. It starts to happen. It releases. People seem to enjoy it. They get ready. Now, then you get like the movies that are like hardcore, gore fest, slasher films, blah blah blah. It gets you definitely into the mood. Then Halloween shows up, and then they're shitty because after Halloween, you have these like really bad movies that come out in January that are just really shitty. If you remember, a while ago, we did the Gary Barry review. Went over to do Your Next, I believe. Yes. Now, Your Next was a movie made for Halloween, but it was released in January, and it was horrible. It was probably one of the worst ones I've seen in January. But it was the only one that was actually worth watching in the horror genre of that month. Now, coming back to October or before that, it's kind of a stretch because if you go in before November, you're basically saying, "Hey, our movie sucks, and we know it sucks, but we spent all this money, so go see it." That's what I feel like what Dracula was. It was don't get me wrong, it was entertaining. The CGI was awesome. It wasn't really cheesy or campy. It was an overall interesting, fun time to have all around, especially with the weird ass cast that they give you. And you kind of have to deal with it, and that's what you basically have to do. If you want to go see it, I'm not saying I'm recommending it. I'm not saying I don't recommend it. If you do want to check this out, go see it in IMAX. That's probably your best bet to immerse yourself into this. Historically, it's not. I mean, nothing's really accurate in this movie because I really don't know firsthand. Even with the research we've done, we don't know where it lands, where Dracula lands in the historical realm. I've always been a big fan of it because I love the story of Vlad the Impaler alone, not even just the Dracula part, just the historical element of Vlad himself, Prince Vlad, if it was. So if you want to go see it, check it out. But see it like in the morning or like the cheapest hour you can go to, or if you want, just wait until Netflix shows up or maybe on demand or whatever. What you should be on demand though is our channels. Make sure you still like, subscribe to this channel because you're awesome, and I know you're awesome. And make sure you guys stay tuned for next week, or next adventure, I should say, because we are apparently going over Kill the Messenger, a little independent film featuring, I believe, Jeremy Renner is in this, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Bye!